Aloha fellow explorers, in this video we're going to be talking about traveling to Maui. This will be a detailed guide to help you plan your next trip to Maui. First things first, I'm going to get some common questions out of the way, like where should you stay, how long should you stay, where should you eat, where do you stock up on supplies, and then I'll be doing a deep dive neighborhood by neighborhood look at Maui. We'll be starting with Wailea and then working our way counterclockwise around the island, really looking at the map and seeing what are the things that you can do close together, where are things geographically close, and it's a live stream, so I'll be taking your comments and questions as we go. So first things first, where should you stay when you go to Maui? A question I get all the time. And I have three main recommendations for you. My first recommendation is to stay in South Maui. And let's go ahead and pull up a map just so you can see what I'm talking about when I say South Maui. And so taking a look here, this is the island of Maui. This is the part that's known as South Maui. This is the part that's known as West Maui. The airport is right here. So where people usually stay, probably the most popular area is the Lahaina area in West Maui. Kaanapali Beach, which we'll be taking a deep dive in, is over here. There's a ton of resorts over there. I think that's kind of one of the older, more classic resort neighborhoods. I really like to stay over here in Wailea. There's a number of newer hotels over here, and in particular, my favorite hotel anywhere, my favorite hotel anywhere, the Andaz in Maui, is over here in Wailea. This is a look at the Andaz in Maui, looking out at their infinity pools. The Andaz in Maui has, I think, one of the best breakfast buffets of any hotel I've stayed at. If you are a Hyatt globalist, you get free breakfast at that buffet. There's also some really great other hotels around there. This is the Grand Wailea, which is a Waldorf Astoria, so Hilton Honors affiliated hotel. It is quite a grand hotel. And the beaches in Wailea have been named some of the best beaches in all of the U.S. The hotels in Wailea are more expensive than they are in Kaanapali, but the Hyatt Regency is pretty decent in Kaanapali. By the way, if you want to see more about the Andaz in Wailea or this Hyatt Regency in Kaanapali, I've got video reviews detailed on both of them. You'll find a link in the description below to my Maui playlist that includes reviews to both of those hotels. And then this is what the beach looks like in Kaanapali. This is on the north side of it. That's kind of the Sheraton in the background, and there's some pretty good snorkeling around this place called Black Rock. Now, the third place you might consider staying is in Hana, and Hana is over this way. There's been a lot of news recently about Hana, the road to Hana, which we're also going to get into, but the Hana Resort has now been affiliated with Hyatt, so the Hana Maui Resort that's down here, if you've got Hyatt points or Hyatt status, then you can enjoy some of that down here. The reason why I suggest you might want to stay there is this is a really long drive, and so you'd probably want to break up the drive back by staying there. Now, if you're going to be going to Maui for like a week, so this is how long should you stay. If you're going to be going to Maui for, I would say no less than 5 days. 5 days is the minimum you should go to Maui. If you're staying longer, like you're staying 7 days, then I would actually encourage you to break up your stay, spend 3 days or 4 days in Wailea, and then spend 3 or 4 days over here near Lahaina in West Maui. You could have a night over here in Hana as well. Now, a lot of people, I think they make a mistake when they go to the Hawaiian Islands, is that they try to do too many islands in too short of a time. They spend like 2 days on an island and then hop to the next one. Don't do that. It takes so much time to island hop that you're just not going to be enjoying the island a whole ton if you're spending all your time getting rental cars, returning rental cars, going to the airport. So now the next question I get all the time about Hawaiian Islands is, Chris, do I need a rental car? I believe you need a rental car if you go to Maui. I'm sure there will be people that will argue this point with me, but it is so big and so spread out. If you want to see the major attractions, you really need a rental car. Otherwise, you're just trapped in some of these resort areas. Now, I'm sure you've heard rental cars are really expensive right now in Hawaii, and because of that, that should probably be the first thing you should book. You should book your rental car before you book your flights right now, because if you're booking them last minute, you might end up spending $500 a night for rental car, and I really don't want you to do that. Now, the time when you might not need a rental car is, if you're going to Wailea, you're going to the Ondas, you're going to the Grand Wailea, and your plan is just to vegetate on the beach for like 3 days and never leave. I guess in that case, you don't need a car, but if you really want to explore Maui and see all the sites that I'm going to talk about in this video, then in fact, you will need a car. So another question I get is, Chris, where should I stock up on supplies? And oh, that is definitely not the first thing that I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you Google Earth again. And so the airport is right here. This is Kahului Airport, which is where you'll be flying into if you're going into Maui. And this is where all the places to stock up on supplies are. There's a Costco over here, there's a Target over here, there's a Walmart over here, there's a Safeway. There's also ABC stores, just like in Oahu, but Maui does not have as many ABC stores as Oahu does. Just in Waikiki alone, there are 34 ABC stores. On the entire island of Maui, there are 11 ABC stores, but they are in those major resort areas of West Maui and South Maui. So now, where should you eat? Always a question that I get. And I've got 3 suggestions for you. And all 3 of them are actually near the airport, because it's almost the only place I can guarantee that you'll be passing through at one point or another. And so the first suggestion I have for you is this place called Da Kitchen. And if you're thinking about, hey, what do I do coming into the airport? What do I do leaving? This is a place I really enjoy snacking on as I arrive into Maui. I'm going to show you 1 minute about Da Kitchen that comes out of my Maui Cheap Eats video, because, a picture is worth 1,000 words, really.
Cheapest, but it was one of the most delicious places that we ate in Maui was Da Kitchen. This is one of the top 10 restaurants on Yelp in Maui. They have over 2,000 reviews, 4.5 stars at the time of this video. Their Hawaiian food is really good. I got the mixed plate, which was chicken katsu, fried mahi, chicken teriyaki, and beef teriyaki, 2 scoops of rice, and macaroni salad that also has potato in it. $18, it could seriously feed 2 people. It feeds an army. They're also famous for their loco moco and their fried musubi. It's right out near the airport. Give it a try. They do get busy. There's a bunch of chairs out here for people who want to wait. The service is quick and fast. They take your orders on an iPad. You'll be in and out lickety-split. So definitely give Da Kitchen a try. For some of the best.
And so that's a classic, because when you're in Hawaii, you need to get a Hawaiian plate lunch, and it's a really good Hawaiian plate lunch. Now, a place you might want to go for fast, casual Hawaiian plate lunches is Zippy's. So there is one Zippy's in Maui, and if we take a look at this, we need to flip through a few of these pictures, right? Zippy's right there. It is like, I call it the Hawaiian version of Denny's, but they've got everything Hawaiian plate lunch to spaghetti. This is one of the classic meals that you might get at Zippy's. They're a zip pack that comes with like some fried chicken, some Spam, some beef. They're chili over rice with some macaroni salad. You can get in and out of Zippy's pretty quick. You could take it with you back to your room. My suggestion to you, if you're gonna do a couple of these in or out, would be do Da Kitchen on your way in and do Zippy's on the way out back to the airport, because Zippy's is a lot quicker. Now, in the chat, I saw Points Traveler say Mama's Fish House is incredible. Mama's Fish House is incredible, and that is my third and final food suggestion for you. Mama's Fish House is not cheap, but I think Mama's Fish House is often considered like the best restaurant in Maui, but you're also going to be paying a mighty fine price for it. But we really enjoyed eating there, and so I want to show you about 90 seconds from our review on Mama's Fish House.
They're on, which is a really neat, nifty beach. Some beautiful views out of those tables. There's only like 3 or 4 rows of tables back, and so any table you sit at, you're bound to have a pretty good view. The inside is also this really interesting Hawaiian wood look. We asked the waiter what he recommends, and he recommended Mama's Ceviche, which was pretty good. I like ceviche. I've typically had the Mexican-inspired ones. This one was definitely a little Asian-inspired, spicy and sour both at the same time. For entrees, we had the mahi stuffed with crab, crusted with macadamia nuts with pineapple kind of on top, which was good, but I think better was the mahi with ahi in Penang curry. And it came with a side of macadamia nuts, mango, chutney, sambal chili, and bananas. And this was a dish that was very flavorful, very unique. The fish was good, the mahi was good, the tuna was good. And you can also get poi complimentary, which is made out of taro. It's a very typical Hawaiian thing, comes in a cute little purple container. Also, as a free appetizer, they serve a bisque soup, which was really good, and fresh baked poppy seed bread comes to your table as well before the food comes out. Finally, we ended with the black pearl. It is an amazing looking dessert, certainly good to post on Instagram and Facebook and all those things. It's lilikoi chocolate mousse in kind of this shell. It was good, but I think a lot of the money for that goes into the actual look of it. But hey, if you want to impress all your friends, definitely get that picture for Facebook. I did too. So,
definitely get that picture for Facebook. There's a few other recommendations I see in the chat. Richard says he's definitely trying Zippy's when he goes this November. Good to hear it. Points Traveler says if you want to eat at Mama's, you need to book a reservation out. That is a good tip. By the way, currently in Hawaii, restaurants are at 75% capacity, but it really hasn't done much over 50% capacity because there's still 6-foot social distancing being enforced. So if you are going right now to Maui, like in the next month or so, expect long waits at the restaurant, so definitely make your reservations before you get on island. Yes, that Chris without a yellow shirt. Chris occasionally does not wear a yellow shirt. Let's see. Craig Gozi recommends Ululani shave ice. They do have really good shave ice. That was probably my favorite shave ice on the island of Maui. It's very light and fluffy. And Gigi Pom Pom says Holly Miley General Store was wonderful. Thank you for that tip. Okay, I said that I had 3 suggestions for you. I actually have a bonus 4th one. I talk about this almost all the time on my Hawaiian live streams, but just because I love it. Teddy's Bigger Burgers. They have a location near Lahaina. You can get a burger there with grilled pineapple on it. That's really good. And the grilled pineapple is actually sweet, unlike pineapples that are sour in the rest of the places. So if you've not had Teddy's on Oahu, definitely check it out when you are on Maui. All right, so now I want to dive into a neighborhood guide on Maui. We'll go through the whole island, talking about all the different things you can see. Thinking about how big Maui is. Maui is quite a big island, and it is 728 square miles in size, so that's pretty big. And if we look at it here on the map, you actually can drive around the entire island, though you wouldn't want to, and we'll get to why in a little bit. You can drive around most of it, but if you were to drive around the island, it would probably take you about 3/4 of a day to circumnavigate the island. So when we look at Maui, we can divide it into a few different regions. We've talked over here, West Maui is probably the most well-known. South Maui is my favorite part. There's Central Maui, which is the area around the airport. Then we've got the road to Hana over here, and which is known as East Maui. And then we've got Upcountry Maui, which is kind of around the volcano peak. So those are the definitions. And we're going to go ahead and start with West Maui over here, this part of it. And as we go into West Maui, the first thing I want to do as we go into West Maui is just tell you a little bit about it, then I'll show you about a minute of video from my West Maui video, and then we'll dive deep into this map. So if you're going from the airport over to West Maui, that drive is going to take you about 40 minutes. This is the most developed part of Maui, definitely built for tourism. There's the classic whaling village of Lahaina, the classic banyan tree, and so I want to show you a couple of these things, and then we'll see them on the map and talk through it. We'll watch this excerpt for a minute.
Yellow Productions presents
a travel guide for visiting West Maui. In this video, we'll visit the following attractions. We'll start with Lahaina, a historic town that was the center of the whaling industry in the 19th century. We'll move our way up north to Ka'anapali Beach, famous for having 3 miles of sandy beaches and fancy resorts. Then we'll visit the Dragon's Teeth, a unique rock formation. Next up will be the Nakalele Blowhole, which spouts water up to 100 feet in the air. And we'll conclude by talking about driving around West Maui. It's really scenic, but can be slightly treacherous. But before we get started, I just want to let you know this is part of my series on Maui. I've got a whole bunch of other Maui videos. You can check those out in the links in the description below. All right, but here we go, West Maui.
The biggest attraction in West Maui is Lahaina, and in the center of the Lahaina is this old banyan tree. This tree is 150 years old. It is the oldest banyan tree on Maui and the biggest. It is quite amazing. And all these different roots that come out from it, they're all part of the same tree. They help hold it up. There's certain areas where Maui's help hold it up too, the government.
All right, so if you want to see more of that travel guide that dives into the video of it, you can watch that afterwards. You'll find the link in the description below. And sadly, people in the chat said the kitchen was closed, and I swear I looked it up before this. You know, I looked up that Google Maps still said it was there, and there's a picture of it, but it does sadly say permanently closed. So skip the kitchen, but definitely do Zippy's for your plate lunch, Mama's Fish House, and Teddy's. Okay, so looking at this coast over here. Now, if you drive over from the airport this way, there's really not much along this drive on West Maui until you get to Lahaina. And Lahaina is that old whaling village. This is like one of the original parts of Maui. The banyan tree is here. You will find kind of like a little neighborhood. If you are going on water expeditions, like you want to go check out the Nepali coast, that is a different island. But if you're going on water expeditions, you're going whale watching, you're going snorkeling, scuba diving off a boat, you will likely be taking that right here in Lahaina. There's also an outlet mall in Lahaina right up here. It's not the most amazing outlet mall, but if you're looking for a place to park, the outlet mall is a pretty good place to park. Now, if we go north this way, then this grassy resort area with this beach, this is Ka'anapali. And by the way, in my West Maui video, I butchered how this is pronounced. Ka'anapali is how it's pronounced. And so the Hyatt is one of the resorts that's here. You will also find the Sheraton, the Westin, the Marriott, the Ka'anapali Beach Resort, and the Royal Lahaina Resort. There's a beachfront sidewalk that rings all of them. There's also a mall right here, Whalers Village Mall. Has a little food court in it, has a lot of restaurants, so you can kind of do your shopping and things like that there. But you can see you're pretty captive in here, but it's a good, mile or so up and down this stretch. It's kind of a nice place to be. And I mentioned earlier this spot right here, Black Rock. This is a great spot for snorkeling. I showed you that picture earlier, which was better than that white box that Google brought up there. All right, so if we head north along the coast, and we'll zoom out a little bit, heading north up the coast, we will get to a few different bays, and the Dragon's Teeth are going to be up this way. And so this is not coming up this way. We'll go like this. Dragon's Teeth. Search. So the Dragon's Teeth that are right here on this point. What are the Dragon's Teeth? Well, let me show you what the Dragon's Teeth are. You saw them in my earlier video. The Dragon's Teeth is this really natural rocky formation that they look like dragon's teeth. This is a super cool place to visit. Take that Instagram picture. It's a little slightly treacherous to walk out there, so it's not great for the mobility impaired, but if you're good walking on rocky, uneven terrain, that's a pretty neat natural wonder. Now, going back this way, if we zoom out, the other hotel that you'll find right here, this is the Ritz-Carlton that's in Maui. I don't know, I wouldn't stay at this one because it just feels like so far removed from everything. I think it's mostly a conference hotel, but there's not much else around there. As we go around this other part of the island, there's a blowhole that's over here, and you can drive around this whole part of the island this way. And this part of the island is famous for banana bread. Now, the rental car things will usually say they don't want you to take your car over there because the road is narrow. If you do make the drive, go slow, let other people pass, don't be aggressive. And this is a little bit what that drive looks like. And actually, that drive is maybe so treacherous that, and I didn't put the picture there, but there was a picture of shirts to be like, oh, I survived the drive along that coast of Maui. Now, the one other thing you might want to see, and it's actually central Maui by the airport, but because I didn't really dive into central Maui, there is this thing called the Io Needle. This is in the Io Valley State Monument, and the Io Valley State Monument, if we look on Google Maps, is kind of right back over here where we see these little things, and it is probably the closest big attraction to the airport. If you go in there, it costs $10 to drive in, but kind of the cool thing about it is that this needle formation that you see there in the middle, that is 1,200 feet up from the valley floor. So it's this kind of really narrow, tall landmass that is just pretty cool. All right, so now if you are planning to stay around in the West Maui part of things, right, if you're planning to stay out of here, some of the pros is there's lots of choices for hotels. You've got lots of hotels to choose from, lots of chains to choose from. There's lots of restaurants and shops. There's that beachfront sidewalk. But the cons, it has the most touristy feel as part of Maui, and I think it's just too busy. Like when I go to Maui, I want to be someplace that's kind of away from people. If I want to be with lots of people, I'll just go to Waikiki on Oahu. But if I'm going to Maui, I want to go to more remote places. And so we'll see that with Wailea in a second. So now we're going to move on to, too fast. We're going to move on to West Maui down here, but I want to take some comments from the chat before we do that. Wu Tai says, I want to see Kauai also. Coming up, that'll be a future live stream. Just Air Experts joined and said, can we start from the beginning? You're funny. Points Traveler said, I did the entire drive on the north side. I wouldn't recommend it. Personally, I enjoyed it, but maybe I like driving. If you don't like driving on narrow roads, then yeah, you might not like it. Tip, if you go to Dragon's Teeth, wear shoes and not sandals. Yeah, absolutely. So Maui is a lot more like hikey type things. So I would actually recommend shoes for a lot of your points of Maui because it's undeveloped. There's a lot of rocks. And MP says, thanks for the tip to the mobility impaired. My pleasure, MP. I don't want people getting in any trouble. The worst thing anybody wants to do is trip and fall on their vacation or get to a place that they just can't even go to. That's pretty much a drag. Okay, why do I have to do this? To see what's on this other page here. Right, so people are helping me pronounce Ka'anapali. So yes, my Hawaiian is not fantastic. Thank you very much. Keely says, why is there fewer tourists in Maui compared to Oahu? I don't know that I would necessarily, right now, I don't know that I would agree with that statement. I think Maui is almost inundated compared to Oahu right now, but Maui has just less hotels. There's less of a tourism infrastructure. The Japanese tourists also don't really go to Maui. The Japanese tourists all go to Oahu, and so just because Maui doesn't have the same level of accommodations that Oahu has, that's why there's fewer tourists there. It's also Maui's more of, I call it like a beach destination, rather than it is like a city destination. Okay, I gotta pick up here to go back to screen 1. Michelle asked if I'm gonna talk about the summit, and I will. In the order we're going around the island, we haven't gotten there yet, but yes, we will. And Rhonda is so kind to say, if you're enjoying this video, please hit the thumbs up button. It is free for you to hit that like button, and it really helps me. Tells YouTube that you enjoy this video, and so that they should share it to other people. So if you wouldn't mind helping me out and hitting that thumbs up button. Also, every thumbs up goes to one more piece of bamboo to feed the hungry Yellow Productions crew behind me, and trust me, they are hungry. So make sure they get their bamboo and hit that thumbs up button. All right, let's go on to South Maui now, and we're gonna dive into this. Again, we started at the airport, we worked our way around here for this little part of the island. Now we're gonna go down here to South Maui, then we're gonna head over here to the road to Hana, and then we're gonna end in upcountry Maui and talk about the mountain summit up here. So, first things first, how far is West Maui from the airport? It's also, South Maui. How far is South Maui from the airport? It is a little closer than West Maui. To get to Lahaina from the airport takes you about a 40-minute drive. To get to Wailea probably is about a 30-minute drive from the airport. I think the drive's a little bit better going to Wailea personally. Now, the reason why I like it better, the resorts are more amazing. The resorts are newer. They feel much more purposefully developed as opposed to scrunched in. And interestingly enough, the area of West Maui up here is pretty dry. It doesn't rain very much, but South Maui is even drier. It gets like 8 days of rain a year or something ridiculously low like that. And so if you're going to the beach out here, you will have lots of days of sunshine. Okay, so there are kind of two main parts of there's this part of Kihei or Kehei. I have a hard time pronouncing that too, and people always take away my, Chris, you don't know anything about Hawaii because you can't pronounce that. I'm sure somebody on the chat will help me pronounce that. But this part of Maui is mostly condos and the business district. So if you're looking for restaurants, you're looking for stores, you will find them up through here. But then heading down here, and they've added Wailea and Makena kind of together. We'll talk about the Makena State Park in a moment. But I do want to say in Wailea, if we zoom in, you'll see there's a number of hotels, just like we saw before, along this kind of oceanfront boardwalk, but you can see it's not one big beach, it's a lot of these little coves. The Andaz is here, the Marriott is here, the Four Seasons is here, and the Grand Wailea, the Waldorf Astoria is here. On the back part of it is a little bit of a resort. So I have a picture of the beach that's there, and if we take a look at that beach, this is the beach that's been named the best beach in America a number of times by the Travel Channel there in Wailea. Many of the hotels there put out beach chairs for you that are just part of your stay at the hotel. So I find it to be relaxing, nice sand bottom, not coral to step on. Really good if you like wading in the water, really good if you like swimming. The waves generally aren't very big, so good if you've got little kids or even big kids. Now, heading just to the south of Wailea, down this way, if we get to Makena, there's actually a black sand beach right here. And I want to show you what that looks like down on the sand. We'll watch this for about a minute. This is out of my South Maui travel guide.
A travel guide for visiting South Maui. I'm Chris, this is my traveling panda Topher, and in this video we're going to tell you everything you need to know to visit South Maui. In this video we're going to cover the towns or cities of Kihei, Wailea, and Makena, and we'll end up here in the biggest beach in Makena. So, here we go. The hustling, bustling center of town in South Maui is Kihei. This is the center of Kihei. Kihei Road is the main road that runs through it. This is the road that is Warning, a little further south, inside the McKenna State Park, just below the big cinder cone, that big hill, there's a black sand beach. Ono'ule, I believe it's pronounced, my Hawaiian isn't so good, literally translates to black sand beach. And the sand in this beach is black because it's caused by the erosion of the cinder cone made of lava. The waves hit it and it creates this little pocket of black sand. Most people don't know this beach is here and don't know that a black sand beach is this close to the resorts. But now you do. Check it out. There's a slightly interesting, exciting road. It's a quarter-mile dirt road that you take to get here. There's just a little sign. This is McKenna State Park. Drive it slow. And there's parking for about 10 cars once you get at the bottom of the hill. But check out this amazing natural wonder, black sand. One thing I find very interesting about the sand here is it kind of looks like salt and pepper. Black, white, it's a very coarse sand. Looks like it comes out of a salt grinder. I'd recommend if you're coming here, you wear shoes or some flip-flops or some sandals. This is gonna get really hot in the sun. I don't think it tastes like pepper though. On the side of the...
Yeah, that black sand beach was pretty neat. By the way, it's not Kihei, it's Kihei. Kihei, Kihei, Kihei. I know I pronounced it wrong in that video, so, and I know many of you also said Kihei. By the way, Points Traveler also points out there was one more hotel that I didn't mention in Wailea, the Fairmont Hotel, so thank you for adding that trip. Now, the hotels in Wailea are going to be a bit more expensive than probably their colleagues over there in West Maui, but I think it's worth it. By the time you're spending a gazillion dollars to get to Hawaii anyway on flights and food, hey, what's another $100 a night on your hotel room? And Points Traveler says, great snorkeling there, almost guaranteed to see a turtle. There is great snorkeling there. Actually, I did like a little 3-minute video of what the snorkeling looks like underwater in front of the Ondas. I don't have that loaded up in here, so if you want to see that, you can search Yellow Productions Maui snorkeling. Which, by the way, that's the beach that I did my snorkel review video, that if you watched my video about getting offers from brands, the #1 email I get from brands is asking me to review their snorkel. I've done one snorkel review, and I think I've gotten over 100 emails from other companies to review their snorkel. I do not want to review any other snorkels. All right, so I've talked about all the pros in South Maui. What are the cons? Not as much shopping and not as many restaurants. So you'll really be a bit more trapped in the hotel resort areas. This is why you really need that car to get up to Kihei to actually eat. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring back Google Earth, and we're gonna zoom out. And as we zoom out from South Maui back to the big part of the island, so we're gonna, if you were driving, by the way, we're gonna go over, head over to East Maui now, which is this coast over here. To get there, there's no like cross island routes. You have to drive up to then this central road that goes over back to the airport and then goes back over this way. Now, just before you start the road to Hana, kind of over here, is Paia. It's a neat little walkable neighborhood. That's where Mama's Fish House that I showed you at the beginning is. But what most people, you can see Paia right there, but what most people really go to this part of the coast for is the highway that runs along this. It is a 64-mile stretch of coastal highway. If you drive it fast, the 64 miles takes you 2.5 hours to get down here to Hana. But I would suggest you allocate all day to it, because half the fun of driving that road is to explore, get out and see the waterfalls, get out to see the little beaches. But I mentioned that about surviving things. This is another thing where there's t-shirts that sell it. It says, the road to Hana Survivor, 617 curves, 56 bridges, 3 hours. Yeah, it is like the twistiest road I've ever been on. And I will tell you, I have not made it all the way to Hana because we got sick halfway on from all the turns and we turned back. And there were so many one-lane bridges that it just wasn't for us. But this is the Twin Falls. There are these neat little waterfalls. We did enjoy seeing a few of the things at the beginning of the road to Hana. So you could totally begin on it. You don't have to embark on it the whole way. You've probably heard a ton of news recently recently about drama on the road to Hana because of all the mainland visitors to Maui. The road to Hana is just like clogged up and busy and takes a long time. And Maui is trying to figure out some solutions about, do they charge people to go on it? Do they limit entry? Do they make tickets? Do they make reservations? Right now it's just kind of a free-for-all, but you can expect in the future that there might be some sort of reservation system to drive on the road to Hana. Okay, so now I mentioned you could technically drive all the way around, but the road on this part of the island past Hana, it's really not good. Like, you lose pavement and it's dirt and things like that. Anybody who has done this has said, don't do it. So there you go. Don't do it. Heed the lesson from other travel. Unless you've got a Jeep. Like, if you rent a Jeep and a four-wheel drive vehicle, go for it. But if you've got that, Kia Sonata, Hyundai Sonata. I don't know my Korean car makes all that well. If you got one of those, you might end up stuck in a big pothole over there. Okay, so now we're going to go to Upcountry Maui, but first let's take a few comments from the chat. SoCal Seth, there's lots of neat food spots on the road to Hana as well. It's very true. There's lots of neat little like food stands and juice stands and things like that. Banana bread, all that stuff. So you can stop in a lot of these mom and pop shops. Kathy asked what I am drinking today. That's a good question, Kathy. And because I've been showing the videos, I've been, I guess, drinking off camera per se. Today I am drinking iced tea from Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen, because today I had the spicy chicken sandwich from Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen. I should move that straw off camera. Jerry says, I drove the road to Hana 46 years ago. I've not done it on subsequent trips. Absolutely. I think it's definitely one of those, like, you do it once and then you're good and you can check that off. Points Traveler says a Jeep is the best way to do Maui because you could go to some of those things. And Evan Sanders says, apparently Mama's Fish House is booked until January. Wow, that's a long time. Yeah, but take a look and see if they have cancellations. That's a good tip. Let's see. Grant says Louisiana represent, and Seth points out that I did miss in Wailea. There is a Residence Inn. I knew it in my head, but I didn't say it. It is back off the beach. It's a great tip because I think that is the most affordable hotel in Wailea, just because it is like a block or two off the beach, but nothing stops you from walking a block or two to the same beach, and you save $200 a night, so that is a good tip. And Bruce said what a lot of people suggest who've enjoyed the road to Hana is they said he went on a tour much more relaxing. So I would suggest, if you're going to do it, you don't like driving, to definitely check out a tour. But if you get car sick, then I don't know that I would do that. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Upcountry Maui. Hey, there you go. You can see all my chats, but that's not what I want to show you. What I want to show you is Upcountry Maui. So Upcountry Maui is known as kind of this area right in here, and then this area, Haleakala. This is the big summit on Maui. The highest peak is right here. Obviously, it's hard to tell from a top-down view, but this summit is 10,023 feet high. The name Haleakala literally means the House of the Sun in Hawaiian, and it really looks kind of like the moon. This is what it looks like up there from that summit. You get up so high that you are away from the clouds. And so it is a pretty neat place. Now, if you do want to go up there, let me see if I can zoom in here, if this will bring up the road for us. I don't think it's really displaying roads right now. But there's this like super twisty, super windy road that goes up here to 10,000 feet. If you are coming from South or West Maui, it takes about 2 hours to drive up to the peaks up here. It costs you $30 to enter. The most popular time to go is at sunrise. If you want to see sunrise, you need to make a reservation ahead of time because the parking lot's not that big. You can make reservations up to 60 days in advance for sunrise. That's when they open, and then they open again 2 days before. If you can't get a ticket to see sunrise, sunset is the next popular time. But remember, if you go up for sunset, then you're going to be driving down the windy mountain in the dark. I think it's totally fine just to go there in the middle of the day. You can hike down into the crater. There's a sliding sands trail. It gets really windy and cold up there, so I would bring a jacket. I have a whole video on it. Let me show you just about a minute of that video so you can really see what it looks like and what I consider to be this moon crater.
Yellow Productions presents
A video review. The summit of Haleakala Mountain in Maui, Hawaii. I'm Chris. This is Topher. Ushi and Hans, they like to hula. They're wearing their leis. In this video, I'll tell you about coming up to the top of this summit. I am here at the elevation of 10,023 feet, the top of this mountain. It takes a couple hours to get up here from the airport, central Maui, but it is definitely worth the drive because the views are truly out of this world. Literally being up here, you know, at the top of this volcanic island, you can absolutely see how this island was made of lava, because a lot of mountains you go up to, they're sort of brown in color, they've got rocks. Up here, things are dark in color, and it looks kind of like a moonscape. Behind me is the crater that's up here, and you can actually walk into the crater, which is really neat. The summit has two sides. The side that I'm on has kind of like a warming hut in it. There's another side that doesn't have the warming hut. And I guess there's a third side that they call Science City, which has the Air Force Observatory on it. Definitely plan your stay planned. Plenty of time to come up here. A lot of people like to come up here at sunrise or at sunset.
So that is definitely one of my favorite attractions on Maui. I would definitely do that over the road to Hana if you had to pick one of the two. I saw a lot of people say in the chat their brakes were smoking on the way down to take it easy. Absolutely. It is, I might get this like statistic wrong, but my recollection is in the USA, it is the shortest distance to go the most elevation on a road. Also upcountry Maui, as you drive the road there's a lot of good wineries, there's a lot of good like farm spots. So if you're looking to do something more natural, then you'll find them up there.
fellow explorers. It is now Q&A time. If you've got a question, I've got an answer.
All right, fellow explorers, if you've got a question about Maui, ask it. If you asked it before and I didn't see it, ask it again. Put a question mark at the end of it so I know it's a question. Jordan asks, what is the nightlife like in Maui? The nightlife in Maui is not fantastic. There's not a lot of it. Like the nightlife, well, I maybe shouldn't say there's not a lot of it. The major place for nightlife is in Lahaina, in that whaling village. If you're looking for bars, nighttime entertainment, you'll find them there. The hotels often do luau's and things like that, but that's basically where you'll find the nightlife. You'll find it in Lahaina, and you'll find it probably at each one of the big resorts that you're staying at. Not a big place, so not a lot at night. Though the nightlife, like if I had to rate nightlife, Oahu has the best nightlife, Maui has the second best. Kauai, like the nightlife is non-existent. The island basically shuts down when it gets dark. Okay, let's look at other questions that are coming up here. Michelle asks, what's a good hike in Maui? There are, Maui I think has a lot of great hiking spots. I think the Shifting Sands Trail that's up there on the mountaintop is a pretty good one to do. I also think in the EO State Monument where the EO Needle is, there's some great hikes in there. But fellow explorers, if you hiked some great things that I didn't mention, let Michelle know, leave it in the chat. Alex popped in to say hi. Hi, Alex. And the Uniplex says, if you're going up to that summit, go for sunset. Sunrise is overrated. Thank you for that tip, Uniplex. I would probably agree with you. And who wants to get up at like 3 or 4 in the morning when you're on vacation anyway? Peter asks, what's my favorite resort in Wailea? My favorite resort in Wailea is the Ondas. I've got a whole review on it, but that's my favorite resort actually anywhere in the world. Points Traveler asks, what's my favorite place for poke? And actually, if I pull up, let's see, I talk about my favorite place for poke in my cheap eats video. So let me roll 30 seconds this video to show you my favorite poke place in Maui.
First place we're going to start at is Eskimo Candy. Eskimo Candy started as a wholesale seafood operation in Maui in the 1980s. 2003, they opened a seafood restaurant. They specialize in local fresh fish. They have really good poke bowls with 4 different types of poke, different fresh fish every day. We had a pretty delicious sauteed in garlic shrimp, specialty of Hawaii. I definitely recommend a stop here. The poke was $13 and the shrimp was $15.
So the poke there was definitely better than the garlic shrimp. The garlic shrimp was good. I like garlic shrimp. Never go wrong. But the garlic shrimp at Giovanni's on Oahu is better than there. But definitely get the poke from Eskimo Candy, since they're a seafood supplier to the rest of the island. I think the fish is going to be fresher there because it starts there and then they ship it to everybody else. Gene says Foodland has good poke too. Foodland does have good poke. It's a supermarket. They have a poke counter. Gene also said they just came back from the Ondas. Did you like it? I hope you did, since I love it. Alex asks, what's my favorite restaurant in the Lahaina, Kaanapali area? I probably like, well, I like Teddy's, but I also really like Star Noodle, kind of neat, like Asian fusion place. They've got some neat pork buns there. It's like it's up in the hills up from Lahaina. Grant asks, how do you get there? Do you fly into Honolulu? How do you get to Maui? There are direct flights to Maui. There's lots of direct flights to Maui. You can connect through Honolulu. I will tell you that if you do connect, you'll probably go on like a big plane to Honolulu and then a puddle jumper to Maui. Pro tip is if you have like elite status on airline, like for me, we have like elite status on United. We took a direct flight, one of our trips, a direct flight to get to Maui, but then we connected out of Maui back to Honolulu to then get home. But the first flight was on Hawaiian Airlines that went from Maui to Honolulu, and because it was on Hawaiian Airlines, we didn't get all of our United perks of like free baggage. We had to pay a whole bunch to check all of our bags because the baggage fees are judged by the first carrier. So I would look for the direct flights to get from the mainland into those things instead of doing the puddle jumpers between the island. The Summer Star says, stop coming to Maui. We are overwhelmed. Yeah, Summer Star, maybe you didn't start from the beginning right here, but at the beginning I did say it's quite busy right now, and it might be best to actually always wait, right? I think that's what a lot of people are saying. It's like, wait till the rental cars are cheaper, wait till there's more staff at the hotels, wait till the social distancing 6-foot things are gone. So you probably have a better thing. So there we go. And MP says, thanks for taking care of the troll. But I do think it was great that Summer Star came in to say that, because it's worthwhile to know that if you're going to Maui, there is a bit of that local sentiment of people that are just like, oh, there's so many people here, stop coming. And I think it's, there's often this, like, I think a lot of the locals in Hawaii, well, a lot of locals love the tourists because they work in the tourism industry, but then there's another set of locals that don't like the tourists because they feel like the tourists don't respect them and don't respect the land and leave trash anywhere. And so if you're going to go, be a good tourist, pick up your trash, be nice to people. I'm sure that everybody here is absolutely one of those travelers. You wouldn't be here watching a Yellow Productions live stream if you were any other kind of travelers. Rhonda asks if I've seen Ulalina. I have not. What is that? Should I see it? Deborah says we did the bike ride down the mountain. Yeah, I forgot to mention that, but one way to get down the mountain, kind of like an adventure tour thing, is you can ride a mountain bike all the way down the mountain. How was that, Deborah? That looked pretty fun. Chad says, elite status on airlines also helpful for Hawaii safe travels pre-clearance. Thank you for that tip, Chad. By the way, if anybody is new here and hasn't seen my What's It Like to Travel to Hawaii right now, my wife, my daughter, we just went to Oahu a few weeks ago. So if you want to see what it looks like, what the wristbands look like, what the airports look like, you can check out that video. what's it like to travel to Hawaii right now. And yes, if you're going to travel, be respectful. And I am sure everybody here is respectful. Rhonda says it is a Cirque show, but not sure if it's still there. All right, I'm not sure. Evelyn says, what's the best shave ice? And by the way, I love the color yellow. It's my favorite color. Me and my husband love watching your channel. Well, thank you very much, Evelyn. I'm glad you like yellow. You've come to the right place. My favorite shave ice is Ulu Lani Shave Ice. Somebody mentioned it earlier. They've got a few locations in Maui. Jimmy asked if I caught the Aloha Spirit. I always catch the Aloha Spirit. I mean, I think that there's something about going to Hawaii that you can't help but feel happy and relaxed and slow down a little bit. I love just like the cheerfulness. C-Sim says, I just returned from Maui and Kauai. Rental cars are $1,000 away. Lines everywhere. He is getting to it. Yeah, so, I think that the lines everywhere, if you're in the tourist areas, there are lines everywhere in the tourist areas. So get out from the tourist areas. If you're eating in the other places like the business districts, this and that, Costco, food court, those sorts of things, and you're getting away from where everybody else goes, then you'll have less lines. So that would be my suggestion to you if you're going in the next couple months. Eat lunch early. Get to spots as they open. Like get lunch at 11, get dinner at 5. Get away from the crowds. Keely says, I love your videos. They're so informative. Thank you very much. Mark from Walter's World is on. Hey, Mark, good to see you. He says, I look a bit windswept and I got some sun. We sure did. We got a lot of sun in Hawaii, let me tell you. There's no way to get around it, right? That's apply sunscreen like 3 times a day or something like that. I have a naturally really red complexion, but when I get like any sun, it gets even redder, and you put some red hot lights and it gets redder. And then depending upon the white balance, right, you can see when I put this white cup up here, then the camera makes me look a little bit different. Something with the blue and that then the camera likes to make me even redder. XD Buck says, did you get a chance to try Merriman's in Maui? I have not tried Merriman's, but thank you for the tip. Evelyn says, what's the best luau? The only luau we did was the one at the Hyatt. We actually didn't even do the luau. We just watched it from the side because we were staying at the same hotel at the Hyatt Regency. But if anybody has any tips on luau's, definitely let a fellow traveler know. Honestly, I find luau's, you've seen one, you've seen them all. They get boring for the whole, sit there and eat perspective. The time you really want to go see it is when they have the fire dancers at the end, and so that was what we figured out at the Hyatt and just found the spot that we could look and see the fire dancers from the thing and didn't have to sit there the whole time. Matt says, amen on the red complexion, brother. Evelyn says, what's the best cheeseburgers? I can't find the place where it has pineapple glaze. Teddy's Bigger Burgers? Teddy's Bigger Burgers. It is near Lahaina. I should make sure that Teddy's is still open there in Maui since the kitchen closed, but I would think that Teddy's is definitely still open, and they are still open near Lahaina. They're right next to the Ace Hardware. Michelle asked any recommendations for sushi. I don't have any recommendations for sushi because there's really good sushi in California, so we probably don't get sushi, OC Girl and I, when we go to Hawaii. Rhonda said that watching the luau from the side is a great way to do it without paying so much, especially with a little one. Yeah, you pay with 3 and the little one doesn't want to sit there and squirm. Jordan says, when traveling solo, any advice on where to keep my phone and wallet, etc.? I'm off to Honolulu soon, and I bought a waterproof fanny pack. That's a good tip. I will tell you personally, on my person, and I'm going to undo this, and I'm going to stand up and back up, and hopefully I don't get too quiet here. But me, okay, these are, I can't get far enough away, but these are cargo shorts, and so I keep my wallet in my front pocket right here. That's where I always keep my wallet. And then I keep my phone down in this cargo pocket right here. I always wear cargo pants when I travel. Phone's right there, wallet's right here, and whenever I go anywhere, I can put my left hand on my wallet and my right hand on my phone. So that would be my suggestion to you. As someone who has gotten their camera bag stolen, anything that you take off that gets set aside or can be ripped off your shoulder is an easy target for people. So the things you really don't want to get stolen, absolutely keep on your person. You know, if you've really got things, you could do the thing under your shirt or the thing inside your pants. I prefer the pocket method personally. Rhonda points out there's in all of Hawaii, not just Maui, there's a big problem with theft. So yes, don't keep the stuff in your rental car. I had some friends that went there that got all their scuba gear stolen. So don't keep anything in there that anybody could see and possibly steal, provided that you actually want to keep it. Rhonda says, I keep my wallet in my bra. It's nice there. Absolutely. That's a good, safe place for it. SoCal Seth is heading off to Oahu. Aloha. And Grant says, now we know which pocket to pick. Hey, Grant, you know, more power to you then. Points Traveler recommends a restaurant and says Monkey Pod for Mai Tais. Down in Wailea, Monkey Pod is a classic one. So that is a great recommendation.
Yes, it's the time you've been waiting for. It's time for the giveaway.
Fellow Explorers, it's time where I give away a Yellow Productions crew shirt if you can answer my question. And my question today, I'll ship it to you anywhere in the world. My question for you today to win that Yellow Productions shirt is there is a natural wonder in Maui. It's teeth. What kind of teeth is this natural wonder that I talked about? If you can answer that, you got to give me both words. You got to give me the word that goes before teeth, and then you got to give me teeth. So if you can answer what that natural wonder is that looks like teeth, you'll win the Yellow Productions crew shirt shipped to you. If you don't get a chance to win one, you can check out a link in the description below to the Yellow Productions merchandise shop. Pick up some Yellow Productions crew shirts, pick up some embroidered shirts, pick up some mugs. Pick one up for the whole family, in fact. And Rhonda says, if you haven't, definitely smash that thumbs up button. I really appreciate it. There's 171 of you on right now, 106 likes. It'd be great to get that up to 150 if you haven't hit that like button yet. So please help me out and hit that like button. All right, I am seeing a lot of answers come in. But let's go ahead and see what the first one was.
And now we have a winner chicken dinner.
Oh. Sky Alexander, congratulations, you are the winner. The answer is dragon's teeth. You get this fancy Yellow Productions crew shirt. Send me an email. My email's in the description below. Let me know where you want me to send it and what size you want. Everybody always wants to know when is the next live stream. If you've not signed up for my email update list, head over to update.yellow-productions.com. Get on my email news list and I will send you emails ahead of time every time I do a live stream, so you'll know what the subject is, you'll know what the time is, you can know whether you want to join in or you can know whether you don't want to join in. I did have somebody ask, and I didn't answer it earlier, where is our next travel that we're going to? Our next trip we're going to take is to Vancouver in Canada. So any tips people have on Vancouver, certainly love to hear them. That'll be in a few months. It's not any immediate here this summer. Coming up this weekend, we're pretty excited to go to the Orange County Fair, annual tradition, which didn't happen last year, but it's happening this year. So we're looking forward to eating all sorts of our fair foods. And the video that I'll be uploading this weekend, we talked about hikes earlier, is about the best hikes in Orange County, California, where OC Girl and I call home of Disneyland. We've been doing a lot of hikes during the pandemic, so it's actually a video I've been working on almost over the past year to put together these different hikes with some great views, but I've got tons more Hawaii videos that'll be coming out after that. So just because you see one California video doesn't mean there's not more Hawaii content. We've got some great Hawaii hikes and other videos from Hawaii, so stay tuned for that as well. Now, as usual, fellow explorers, I won't say goodbye because I'll see you all in the next video. If you want to see more of my Maui videos, you'll find that link in the description below. And thank you all for tuning in to this stream and hitting that like, thumbs up button. I really appreciate it. We got up to 125, so we got 20 more. Thank you for the 20 of you that hit that thumbs up.